live.
I love it.
Oh, adjust the camera.
I gotta get close to you, buddy.
Wow.
Look at you, man. Straight up.
At least my jawline looks good. Thank you, Dennis.
You might want to move it. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Thank you, buddy.
Perfect side, too. Hey, guys. Welcome and hello as we fix this angle.
Yeah, what's up with this angle
Always
here?
about the angle.
There we go.
Angle of entry, angle of withdrawal. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Thank you so much. We are going to have a fantastic show. It's all about dealers and AI. There's been a lot of talk about the chat GBT, and we had a journalist / somebody somehow posted an article about how one of the top 10 things that are leaving Las Vegas, leaving Las Vegas, were dealers in place of electronic table games. And let me just say, it got a little under my skin. This person who made this, who posted this, is someone we know, and is someone that has friends in the gaming industry.
Yes.
And they could have called. They could have made a phone call and figure out if this was actually true, but it's not true. Well, we're gonna prove it somehow.
Fake news.
We're gonna demonstrate the fake news, but we're gonna do this like old school style, like as if we had a college education, dude.
Oh.
We're gonna run down and the facts.
Okay.
And we're gonna reverse engineer the reality, because everybody is like, if you look on YouTube nowadays, it's like ChatGPT is taken over, which strangely enough, I've been using it a little bit.
Really?
I love it because, especially for, and by the way, if you're a little older, and so, because sometimes when you type in the search engine, you're like, oh, it's not hearing me.
Did we turn it the wrong way?
It was off.
It wasn't off.
Oh.
Okay.
So you know when you type in the search engine, if you happen to be a little older, and you don't have the context of someone younger, and sometimes the search engine doesn't really fill in the blanks.
Oh, really?
Whereas ChatGPT, you could just say and it just like goes to town, dude. It gives you everything you want to know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't even need to have. You don't have to be anywhere close. You feel me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's been productive. I think and so everybody's wondering if dealers are going to lose out on, if there's just going to be a robot sitting there whacking you. What do you think, buddy?
Fake news.
Alex is still stuck on VR porn. He's fully, you know what I'm saying? Like, that argument has already been settled, I think.
This is
for
true.
a lot of people. You know what I mean?
The only reason why I have an Oculus.
Yeah. By the way, you ran out and got that right. You were one of the early adopters, dude.
Dude.
Wow. Easy win, dude.
I'm working.
Yeah. All right, here. We want to really make this, can they hear me now?
They can hear you.
Everything is good? Okay. So we want to make this as impactful as possible.
Okay.
We want you guys to know, so why are we having this discussion? Well, A, we have a dealer school. Obviously, this will impact our business, short-term and long-term.
Yep.
On the short term is if you're telling people that they're not looking for dealers, then that's a problem. And long term is if these robots are coming for dealer jobs, then what's the point, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna try and work this out. And first we're gonna do is we have Alex here because we have some great stories, dude. We have one great story that worked itself out really well. Too well. We call it the A&D train now, because a lot of people getting run over by the train.
Why not DNA? DNA would have made more
DNA.
sense.
DNA. There you go.
Yeah, we're
buddy.
Team DNA.
God, you're Team DNA.
Open your mouth and say DNA.
DNA coming in, dude. A little bit of a slider. It's funny because I know Dennis is he's so smart, dude. He's got all that hair. I think that adds to his intellectuality. You know what I'm saying?
What are you on?
Look at this. Look at this. What an IQ, huh? Look at all that.
On?
My God, man. Anyways,
Just jealous.
for those of us that have less hair, we get excited when the hair sort of hangs the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not actively falling onto the surface.
I agree with that.
Okay, so here we're gonna go down the major points.
Okay.
We're gonna try and stay focused. This is gonna be a very little bit of tangential, and then we're gonna try to give away. You notice you might see our cupcakes because we have a little celebration too. We're kind of celebrating truth. We're celebrating truth in advertising. I don't know.
Another week of truth.
So the first thing is we got to introduce what is an ETG. For those of you guys who don't know, it's an electronic table game. And they've been around for quite a while, believe it or not. The research on these games started back in like the mid-2000s, where casinos here in Vegas anyways were looking to adopt these games. I'm guessing that electronic table games in one form or another have existed for even longer than that, or we're in some of the development stages. But the big casinos really didn't start looking at electronic table games until the mid-2000s, didn't start adopting them until the late 2000s, and now, of course, you see them everywhere. and they're part of the casino floor. So, I have been in gaming since 1991. Alex has been in gaming since, how long have you been in gaming, buddy?
15 years now.
Oh my God, 15 years? You look so young, sir.
2008. I know.
All right, so we have some experience, and we also, we run a dealer school, we have Casino Quest, we've been dealers, we've seen how these things have played out. And I have played a role on a team that looked into the statistics of ETGs and how they played out on the floor. And when the electronic table games first started rolling out, they were seen as a competition to the table game floor. Now, I'm also talking about here in Vegas, right? So different markets deal with games a little different way, right? Yeah. There are markets right now, for example, where you serve yourself your own drink, dude. There's no cocktail waitresses. You literally go up. There's a nice drink bar. I love that, by the way.
Yeah.
No takeaway from cocktail waitresses, but sometimes, like here in Vegas, we have cocktail waitresses that have opened a few casinos that were open in like the 1950s. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to wait a second to get your drink. Just hold on a minute, young man. You know what I'm saying? It's coming. Whereas I don't mind just going to get my own damn drink. You know what I'm saying? And then pulling it over. So casinos in different places act differently, and there's a big Instagram with a okay, it's gone. Never mind.
Huh?
So different markets deal with and not all markets have table games or even have what's called Class 3 gaming. Some markets are limited to Blackjack, Baccarat, VIG-based games where you pay to participate. The casino is really just taking a rake, and the game is essentially 50-50.
Back and forth.
It's back and forth. Like those of you that are still playing craps with cards, that's what that is. It's like a bingo craps game. You know what I mean? In fact, me and Alex had a role in helping a guy with literally a bingo craps game for Class 2 gaming.
Yep.
We rolled that. Our school actually helped him deal it and present it, and the whole thing didn't work out so well, did it? No, it didn't work out. So we have a fairly extensive background now. Here is a few things. So first of all, I shared this slide. Can they see this slide 3? I just want to show them slide 3. I think this is the one of the most impactful thing. Can they see this?
Here, just give me a second. Just talk about it.
All right. So I'm about to share a slide with you, and this is a slide that has a stadium seating arrangement.
Yep.
Okay. And very specifically, this is something that we're familiar with. It's a Baccarat stadium seating.
Yep.
Which for Baccarat very specifically, people have really, this has actually worked out at a few casinos that we've seen here in town. And the reason for that is there's a real dealer right there in the center, and then people on the outside can play 2 shoes.
Yep.
So why do they want to play 2 shoes? Alex is much more familiar with this.
In Baccarat, instead of in a real life table, instead of you switching back and forth from table to table, you're not allowed to do that in the casino. So, like for example, at the Gold Coast, you can't bet on 2 different shoes at the same time.
Right.
So on an ETG, you're able to switch back and forth, toggle between the 2 shoes. So that's the reason why.
So it's brilliant. So if you're a Baccarat player with some strategy where you're chasing these runs, stuff like this, you can do 2.
Yeah, you're watching between, see what's going on, and you can bet on it.
Yeah, 100%. So that part has been, and there's no takeaway from the types of gameplay that have been successful, and that's really what ETGs have done here in town is they've sort of found their own niche.
Yeah.
Now, some of you, one of the niches quite clearly, and here, I'm gonna scroll back real quickly. So originally the debate was, is this gonna be a slot game or is this a table game?
Correct.
Is this an actual table game? Do we wanna roll it under the table game department? And quite frankly, when it was included in the table game department, what they found was these tables have a lower point of entry. People play less money. They play for less time. And it just doesn't play out in terms of the losses that a regular table game has, right?
Correct.
And so ultimately, the table game managers were like, we're going to throw this to the slot department. We don't want to manage this game. We don't manage. There's no drop. There's nothing that we want to have that influences here. So that has mostly been settled. Now, there are a few games that still play a role in the table game department, of which the Stadium Baccarat is one of them. And we'll talk about one of the ETG crap tables that has been adopted and then unadopted by some table games. And that's where we have a really great story where we ran into this company in 2018, and we'll tell you about it. Okay. So
it's juicy, a lot of tea.
This is going to be a petty moment.
Before we get too far, we have some super chats.
Okay,
thank you.
We have Alan Toy uses member chat, says, how much stroking can I do towards the robot dealer?
Well, that's the thing. So, like, my guess is that they'll start adopting. You know what I mean? They'll have more than one hole to insert your money.
That's not, I don't think that's the type of
Money.
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 No, different robots,
Oh,
sir.
different robot.
different
anyways,
robot.
the second part of his thing is how's your arm lifting Alex lifting those 5 boxes of shipping labels?
Oh yeah, he did send them more shipping
did
labels.
he really? Oh my god.
No, I was fine. We made the staff pick it up. Thank you, Alan Toy.
We love ourselves some toy.
But here's real quick to let you guys know.
Yeah.
The key to success, Alan Toy, is to not fixate on random stuff. It's to fixate on actually winning. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Instead of stroking, you fixate on winning.
Let's not undercut the stroking too much. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, 2 more super chats before you go.
Yes.
We got Reno gave us $10. My overtime pay is paying for the super chat.
God. Stupid.
Hardworking as usual.
Yeah.
Broke.
Well, now at least we know where he makes all his money.
Broke Gambler said thoughts on robot cocktail waitresses.
Yeah, so we that's great. That's actually a great thing. So when the robot cocktail waitresses first came out here in Vegas, they had an arm famously that came out at a certain casino. That arm didn't last very long, and it was
Mandalay
like this,
Bay.
Okay, and it was like $1 million. It was a big deal, and they announced
like,
it, and this whole arm came out. Guess what the arm can't do? It can't talk to you. Doesn't care who the hell you are. I mean, it looks cool for a minute, but after the first drink, you're like, let's get a move on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to mention there was a serious premium. By the way, that arm went into somewhere else as well, and it got taken out very quickly, and they realized it was a big mistake.
It was actually interesting too because I remember the drink is actually more expensive than the casino floor.
Yeah, 100%. And those arms aren't cheap, by the way. So when we always talk about labor, yes, you know, that arm, it costs a lot more than the labor, at least initially. You know what I mean? And then ultimately, if people aren't coming back and people aren't paying for the experience, then what does it matter? And there have been other arms that came and have gone. All right. Okay. So we're going to have a really interesting discussion. So there's
last super chat before we leave.
Okay, go.
Said VA Craptures gets $5. Says if all the dealers are robots, then who's going to retrieve the dice from the boobs?
I know, that's a great question. See, that's it. I mean, what is
I
that?
will.
I mean,
I volunteer.
You know what you have is you have like one of those Boston robotic dogs just sniffing around the table. Every time a dice goes down, it just, you know what I mean, sniffs it out. Have you ever seen those like bouncing around?
They can't sniff though.
They can't sniff? Oh yeah, no. I guess they're not sniffers. They're robots. But I mean, you know what I mean. Just sense the dice going off the table. They grab the dice and then boom, jump it up on the table. Wouldn't that be cool? Now that I would pay for that. I would just be throwing the dice off the game though, just to see that happen. You know what I mean? Or you just have a little lever, dude. You hit the lever like you do on the virtual one, and then it's every single time it's a perfect throw. It's not actually
like
you
the ones
throwing.
they use online.
Online,
the
yeah.
trebuchet.
Yeah. Because do these ever go off the table?
Oh yeah, once in a while.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, once in a while.
All right, so first we want to talk. So we're not trying to. We're not. This isn't a blanket case study, okay?
Yeah.
And remember, like, you know, the games that we really enjoy the most are craps, of course. You know, we'll talk about roulette, blackjack, and the differences that sort of play out, and why we believe wholeheartedly that robots aren't here to take dice jobs now or in the future. So I guess we'll start with that.
Okay.
And then we're gonna build the argument, though. Remember, college-educated argument, dude.
Yeah.
You ready? We're going like
we're gonna pretend like we didn't drop out of
if
college.
you have graduated from University of Phoenix, this might be a study in something. You know what I'm saying? This could be big. Okay, so the next table. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start breaking down kind of, you know, how ETGs play out, and going down the list of stuff that. So one is, can we go? You want to get to this this first game?
Yeah.
We're gonna get to the first crap table. And that's where we have the story we're gonna help you guys with, and then we'll build off that. But we came across this certain table in 2018. We're gonna share. Can you share this picture with them, sir? And it is the Aruzi gaming table. It's a roll to win table. Many of you have probably played it.
Yes.
And me and Dennis saw it in Tampa. It was in Florida. They had hoped to get actual real crap dealers, which of course negates this idea that, you know, crap dealers are going to be replaced by the table. They were looking to actually have a real crap table with real dealers. Instead, they had this table. They had no dealers. So this table typically has a stick person, right? But this table literally just rolls the dice virtually, okay? So it has a stick person, and the stick person stands to roll the dice. All right, so me and Alex in 2018, and you wonder, it's strange. We do get a lot of respect. We have a lot of friends that are casino managers. They respect what we do. They respect our dealers. They do have respect for us. But when you cross over into like the tech world, it's almost like, not to say that all stepchildren are treated a certain way, but I think we're treated like some other kind of orphaned reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no respect.
Like basically, no. We
Well,
walk
in
in
years
and they're
past,
like,
in years past.
I mean, dude, we've
Yeah.
had it's amazing, it's stunning, always. But anyways, so we're at 2018 G2E, and me and Alex, we go to G2E to see what dealers are coming up with. Like, I mean, what we basically focus on the table games. Nowadays, we go and we'll see the slot machines and we'll check out other booths. But back then, we really focused on, what's new in the table game space, like what's new in signs. They were doing these electronic bets, you know what I mean, and the chips that they could track and stuff like this. So we come across this table. I'm talking to this young guy. And he introduced us to this table. Alex comes up.
Yep.
And we see this game, and we start playing. Go ahead, Alex. What's your commentary?
So 2 thoughts. Number 1, I asked how much does this table cost. They told us $1 million, and I was like, that was number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, first of all, if you guys don't know, I do go to EDC, Electric Daisy Carnival. I go to raves. I enjoy electronic music.
Oh my God.
That table was like epilepsy.
I know. I was even asking Dennis if there's an epileptic warning on the table. I'm not sure. We're not sure. We're not.
But it was like visually, it
lights.
was actually the first time in a long time where I actually was like actually overwhelmed.
Really?
A lot of people have like sensory. I know.
And you go to EDC.
I go to EDC. I go to raves.
For those of you my age, you've never seen more lights twirling, and like people come there, carrying these LEDs and twirling them around. They got light sticks and everything else. So
I get lit on a regular, not so much anymore, but I did on a regular basis.
And so this was quite the experience.
This table was sensory overload. So even me, I was like, I was already getting like, I remember at G2, I was playing for like 15, 20 minutes. I was already getting visually fatigued playing
this game
on that table.
So this is older gentleman, maybe older than me. I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
Who is some kind of vice president, is what I remember. Comes walking up to the game. Me and Alex start playing on the tablet. So I know many of you, have shared, have played. And it took us a minute because, it takes a minute to get used to the user interface, stuff like this.
Yeah.
And so, he's trying to, we're both playing our own system, like the, kind of a strategy, right? Because that's what we do. I mean, we're not just going to walk up to a table, even if it's electronic table, and just play the way it wants us to play. We want to play the way we want to play. So we're trying to put in our bets, but there's a timer, as you know, on this machine. It really times you down because everybody is sitting around. And so I run out of time, and the guy's like, he goes up to me and he's like, well, this one you need to learn dice to play. You have to learn dice to play. And I'm like, wow, really? You got to learn dice? What do you think, buddy?
Yeah. That's not a thing.
That's not a thing. So,
That's
I
not a
mean,
thing.
this is just one of the experiences that we've had where there was a takeaway. Now, however, we're gonna introduce a game that we love when it comes to ETGs. Both of us have really enjoyed playing Interblocks crap game.
Yep.
Which is otherwise known as Bubble Craps. And believe it or not, I hadn't played Bubble Craps for the longest time until we went out to Blackhawk.
Yeah.
And we found a Bubble Craps machine, and me and Dennis played, and we enjoyed it. We really had a good time.
Yeah.
And by the way, for anyone who doesn't know what the Interblock ones are these. The
This
ones
is-
with
yeah.
single
It's the
bubble.
one where you get the single tub.
Yep.
So there's no center. You get to play at your own pace.
Yep. Now, this is going to be a little shout out to Color Up. So those of you familiar with Color Up's channel, I first saw him playing one of these. And I just after this experience at G2E with this with the Aruzi game, I just wasn't really interested. I didn't realize how different they could be. And so when I finally sat down to Bubble Craps, I really enjoyed it. There's no counter. You can do almost everything you can do on a live game. There was very little that was taken away, and you have plenty of time to kind of mitigate your bets. And it pays down to the penny. So you could have a $10 six. Like you could play all these weird systems. You don't have to worry about the exchange so much.
Yep.
And you get it done. And we actually had quite a bit. My thing was always, I don't trust the digital stuff. I trust my hands. I trust, I don't always trust the dealer, to be honest with you, but I trust my hands. I trust what I see and know on a crap table. And if someone's going to make a mistake, I can catch it and get fix it. If it's a digital machine, I don't know to trust the rolls. I don't know to trust.
Yeah.
But when we rolled, we had like 4 hardways in a row, dude. I was like, man, that's a good one. You know what I'm saying? So we won like $250 or $40 on this one machine. I was just hooked. We really enjoyed it. And we sought out other Interblock machines, and the point of entry again was lower, so we were able to buy it for $20. Where all the tables are $15 and $10, we found ourselves a $1 Interblock machine, bubble craps. Your thoughts, sir?
I trust my hands too, sir.
You always got to trust your hands, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you have to pay that lady upstairs and trust her. See that? Anyways. All right, go ahead. What do you got?
I think the biggest thing about that roll to win, we're not going to talk about our story yet.
Yeah.
Or like the story yet.
Oh, really?
But I think the biggest thing is like, I feel like a lot of these gaming companies, it's like the biggest disconnect I feel like is because they don't know, they think they know what consumer demands are, but they have no clue what the consumer demands are.
No. It's so easy to think something because you're not in it.
Yeah.
There's so many assumptions made about the game of dice, just in general. You know, people walk up to a game and they come away from it with a very limited, after a very limited exposure with they jump to many conclusions. I will tell you that a lot of that is not true. Mentality is a big part of playing craps, right? And you learn that if you ever come down here and take a lesson with me, you'll learn that right away. It's not so much the distinction is big. Mentality alone. It's not just the bets themselves. It's literally how much you're willing to actually gamble and how much you're willing to play. All right, but so all right. Well, what's the other story? You wanted to share something with them, sir?
Well, we wanted to tell them that story about we're gonna go over the story about the dream about them getting whacked one night, or is that?
Oh yeah. You can tell them. We that's been going on a couple places. Yeah.
So the thing there was two things that was interesting about this. Number one, when they came out with that roll to win, Dennis, can you go back to that picture on number 4? Mm-hmm. Okay, so going back to that picture on number 4, one of the issues that they had right from the get-go was that they were people were sliding on dice on that game.
Right.
And so when they first started that game, they didn't have the bumper rails. That, if you guys don't know, there's a rail right across the dice game, across the prop box to make sure people don't slide the dice.
That moves, make sure the dice bounce in the middle of the game.
Correct.
You can't slide the down.
You can't slide it all the way across. You could throw one and then slide it.
Yeah.
And so anyways, so that was like an issue number 1 was that the casino was getting whacked because people were sliding the dice across the game.
And good sliders, by the way, they'll throw one, slide the other. And one of the reasons they were getting away with it is because this game was specifically sold. Listen, you don't really need a dealer. You just need someone to move the dice. So guess what? They would not use it. They would use like someone who knew nothing about dice, and they didn't know this was a faux pas.
Yeah, they didn't use crap dealers. They were using blackjack dealers that just know how to work the stick and had no idea.
Everybody knows how to work the stick, sir. Okay, that's what lowers the bar of entry.
Yes. So that was number 1. Number 2, one of the casinos basically got whacked because it was a team of them, grouped up together against this blackjack dealer, convinced them that the timer running out was for them to get the dice. Not dice locked in, push the bets, push it out.
So they have their bets in, and then they would lock in, and they were guaranteed a winner.
Correct. So they would literally get the convince them countdown, throw the dice, book all their bets in, bam. And so one night, one of the tables got whacked for $140K.
Yeah.
And that's what started. It was like this whole rapid fire thing of this whole crew going around town whacking all these tables.
Yeah, we talked about it. So they had to upgrade some software. And also, the word got out that you just can't use the dealer has to have some knowledge of the game, right? There still has to be some game protection. Clearly, there's no boxman. Supervision is hard. How do you watch this game from a surveillance perspective? I mean, it introduces a lot of new things to the floor dynamic. Now, amazingly, so before this happens, I don't know. I talked about it on a podcast several months ago. There was a husband and wife that are friends of mine upstate New York, and they would literally call, and they told me, like, dude, they were like, hey, do your people know that this game, and I won't even say it now, but let's just say the game that maybe we were talking about just 2 seconds ago, that you can do this on the game. Basically, whenever the rents do, we just go out and whack it. And I was like, well, I don't think that's like, I don't agree with that necessarily.
Yeah.
But no one feels bad for the casino when there's an exploit that's so obvious and they're not taking advantage of it. But they were like, maybe you should let your community know. And I was like, well, I can't do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't be, looking at, exploiting a game. But it's tremendous how many people figured this out. And we're just really raking it in. It was just so easy to tell the dealer, no, wait a minute, let our get our bets in, and there they go. Then they would lock in the dice, and boom. They were just losing a ton of money.
It's unbelievable. Because that was the thing was like the other problem. The thing too is that when we went to that G2E, the original, they were like, oh yeah, this is gonna take care of the dealer's problem. Instead of like worrying about the training of the dealers and teaching them the right way, they're like, no. This $1 million table is going to fix it. You only need one dealer. That's all you need.
Yeah. And I mean, so that's the biggest part of it, is that these ETGs have made. I just got done reading through a whole site. I was going to share it and kind of break down all this, but I don't think that really, our community isn't served by that so much. But the idea is that somehow ETGs both save the casino a lot of money and then have higher yields. I mean, that was the expectation. And I think for Baccarat, that has played out fairly well, because now that you have these two shoes, we've seen it laid out pretty successfully. Back when the Palms, before the Indians came in and bought it and redid it. But, you know, we've seen a few really good executions of the stadium Baccarat. And there's no doubt that you know, you have one dealer dealing two shoes, playing out on these two games. I mean, and you have 100 people able to play. That's a win, right?
Yep.
But for most of the other games, it creates a whole different dynamic. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about now. So on this ETG craps, I just want to point out, this is not petty at all, but the company behind this crap table, and the claw, by the way.
Well, let's talk about that. Yeah. So it's Aruzi Gaming.
It's Aruzi Gaming.
So they also do bubble craps.
They do bubble craps?
They do bubble craps.
Oh, okay.
They do bubble craps. They do the roll to win.
Okay.
It's the same, like, press the button. It's the same thing.
Oh, really? Press the button.
And then by the way, so here's our funny story too. Yep. So G2E last G2E was it was like the first G2E after COVID. We went and they were like, "What's the big thing in gaming?" That's why we always go. Dave and I were like, "What's the big thing in gaming?" And it's like they were like sitting at home on lockdown, and they're like, "What can we do to get people back into the casino?"
Yeah.
And then so we walk up. They had the claw game.
Yeah.
Go claw, whatever. You guys see me do a thing on Instagram, whatever. Go claw. So I was like, okay, we're playing the claw game. I asked the gentleman, I said, is this skill based? No, RNG.
The claw game? It's RNG. Who wants to play an RNG claw game, dude?
So
makes no sense.
So I told him, I was like, listen, I can literally take that claw, put it in that corner, and just press the button. And if the machine determines that I'm going to get it, it's going to pick up the ball for me and bring it up.
The tech told us, literally the guy working on the machine told us it's completely RNG. And in fact, while we were there, I mean, I was trying to use the claw, and my ball was dropped.
So yeah, even if you pick up the ball, and it comes, and then the machine just is like, nope.
Yeah, and then it dropped the ball, but I still won. So it was completely RNG. But I mean, this is the kind of, you know, it's just silliness. Okay, so ETG Crafts, Aruzi, the game behind the roll to win machine.
Yeah.
And we don't know why they claimed bankruptcy, but they did on February 1st. They claimed bankruptcy. They had to file bankruptcy under Chapter 11, so they're reorganizing. They're still in business.
Okay.
You know, we'll just put it out there, and let's just leave that alone, dude. Just leave it alone. That's a fact.
All right.
We don't have to have a dream about it. That's actually a fact.
No more dreams.
No more dreams. All right.
We have a couple super chats. Apparently, we missed one of Alan's super chats at the end of the last stream. So
oh my God, he wants to point it out. Really?
Working on the 4x9 by 4x9 CQ logo artwork. Need a new place to hang it up.
Thank you, Mr. Anal Toy.
I know.
Jay Gomez gave us $4.99. Just said bang.
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 Yeah.
Reno gave us another $5. Says, I get flashbacks of press the button and be the shooter.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people are getting flashbacks on Crapsy now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They come in here and they're like, listen, David, don't open your mouth, dude. It's nice to see you, but don't talk to me. I've already heard you calling out the dice, dude. I'm out. By the way, if you haven't checked out Crapsy.com, now's the time. That's our sponsor, dude.
Yeah.
Crapsy.com is quite literally our sponsor.
Also, too, do you need some roulette strategies or crap strategies?
Yes.
ShopCasinoQuest.com.
There you go. And we're going to give away some stuff if you guys start hitting the something. If you like us, we're going to give away another hat. Did we give away? What did we give away? We've just been giving away hats. Okay. So we want to talk about the roll to win, right? And we want to talk about some of the distinctions between ETGs and a human person.
Yes.
Okay? So on an ETG, some of the negatives are you can't walk up to a DTG and ask them how to play. You have to literally press the button and read how to play. We all hate reading on vacation, don't we?
Yeah.
Does anybody like to read on vacation?
No.
Like, that's not a thing. Not to mention that there's still, the same way you have interacting with a live table.
Yep.
Right. Oh God. You can't come up and, where your money is. The user interface takes a minute to learn. There's a bit of a learning curve, right?
Yeah, you walk in, the menu, like, you're not sure what's going on. Like, it's a whole thing to it,
Like, it's a whole thing, yeah. Now, I will say that clearly walking up to a craps table or even a blackjack table with a dealer can be intimidating for people, especially if you don't know how to interact, at least the first time, which is why Casino Quest exists, right?
Yep.
And so there's that too. It's much easier to walk up to, let's say, a robot, right? And you know, and kind of interact with it, right? Because it's not a person. If you're very nervous, right? All right. Now let's talk about the money. All right. So with an ETG, very specifically, usually the betting is lower, right?
Yeah, lower minimum.
Lower minimum. So you can walk up like we did. We played Bubblecraft, $20 buy-in, $100, big money. Now tell them about you when you're playing your big fat hardways the other day on an ETG.
Oh yeah, I did.
Soccer.
Well, one thing. So I will tell you the issue that I have with the roll to win. You ready? The issue that I have with the roll to win is that you're standing around the table. Everybody can see what's betting around you. So while everyone's got all their stuff going, they can see that I have a $150 don't pass with 150 odds.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem that I have. So even though it's like still like a real table, you're still playing. And then they look and they see digitally, they see 150 and 150.
You're that one DP. Yes. And they like, how the hell? And then look with you in your highways. Like, how high do you get your highways, dude? You're like that one high roller ETG dude.
I know. So the only thing was, the interblock one at TI, by the way, $3 minimum. If you guys ever want to go after work, I'm down. Yeah. So the TI one, it tells you how many hardways since the last one. So I was martingaling the hard 4 and the hard 10 because it was like 120 plus.
Oh my god.
By the way, the highest it went was like 156 rolls before both of them hit and came down.
Oh really?
That was scary. Yes.
So you had it up to what?
I had it up to 150 on the hard 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like at $1,200.
So I mean, most people. I mean, amazingly, the ETGs tend to be higher limits, but for the most part, they're lower entry, lower limits, this kind of thing. Now, the other thing that's interesting is that a lot of them don't let you play out how you want to play. They limit the types of bets you can make, right?
Yeah, so some of them, like the bubble craps, so that's a ruse. Sometimes it's single odds, double odds. Sometimes you can't do hedge systems. That's the problem is in the ETGs in general, you don't know all the rules on that table. One ETG allows different bets. The other one you can't.
I know on Blackjack, when they first came out with Blackjack, Timmy, you guys remember Timmy, he used to play a lot of the digital or ETG Blackjack until they took away, what was it? They took away some of the splits. They limited splits or double downs or something like this.
So here's my theory. My theory was that they were trying to keep a high house edge
on the digital
ETGs. So that's why they kept chopping and changing all the rules.
Yeah, 100%.
So they're like, oh yeah, it's good, but then they're like, oh wait a second, it doesn't look good to the casino, so we're gonna cut. But then like once again, you cut so much, no one's gonna play because there's no advantage. You're not playing a real game anymore.
Well, you play if you don't know, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know and you're still just trying to play, hey, I played craps, but you didn't really play craps.
But any experienced player knows, well, you don't want to play that because like you rather just go to a regular table.
And at the end of this, we're going to talk about dealer opportunity very specifically. We're going to go into that. I will tell you, I'm going to give you some real numbers, some real hard numbers. It's the hardest numbers you've ever heard. Yeah, 100%.
Hard, rock hard.
So listen, the other thing with the ETGs is some of them are time play, dude. You don't have all day to figure it out. You gotta get your ass in gear, dude.
Yeah.
It's not DTF, right?
Yeah, not really.
We say drunk, tolerant, fun. Like, if you're at a table and you're drunk, you have a dealer there to kind of facilitate your new level of action. How does the ETG work that out?
That's the downside of electronic craps because literally that timer goes, and then even the interblock one, you'll see that dealer hit the lock button and then move the dice. So
and it's all over. You're
correct.
Out.
Yeah, if you don't put in that bet in, or you do an Alex move where you accidentally forget you're supposed to remove it.
Yeah.
That's what I get always in trouble all the time on Twitch for that. I forget. I'm like, oh.
And our biggest problem is we would leave like the $5 mark, even though you wanted to bet $1. And next thing you know, we're just pumping by 5s or 25s. You know what I mean? We're pumping in the wrong denominations. You don't want to pump the wrong denomination, sir.
Yeah, you want to pump the right one.
No, you always want to pump the right. All right, so the other thing is that I have always found is there's no accommodation. So if there's anything going on, I mean there's no one's gonna help you like you were talking about. Like they're not gonna hand off your cum bet. No. You know what I mean? You're not gonna help to get to the next bet, right?
Yeah, the dealer can't explain what's going on the layout.
Yeah. All right, so it's pretty easy. I mean there's lots of really direct distinctions, and over time these have played out. So like early on in the cycle of ETGs, there was a lot of excitement about these electronic games lowering the staff expenses, and that's really the article I read is like, oh my God, you got to hire the dealers, you got to train them, you got to pay them. Well, it's really a low bar. These ETGs, by the way, are not cheap, and in many cases there's some kind of floor lease that's involved. $1 million game, for example, no. I don't know of any casino that's paying for that game outright. They're probably leasing it, or renting it, however you want to, however you want to define that relationship. But ultimately, the dealers, believe it or not, are very cheap, okay, because they're paid less.
Yeah, so it's like $1 million machine, $9 an hour. $1 million machine, $9 an hour.
So given that $9, but now what you're gonna say is, so the tokes. So I've had this conversation with a high-level casino executive, right, who sat down with me, and now mind you, I'm not just into gaming and teaching dice. I've been a gambler, like a really degenerate gambler myself, right? And I know I'm familiar with the mentality. So for example, a lot of casinos, the Rio, for example, right? When you tip, so they're saying, what about all those tips that the dealers get? That could be money spent gambling, but that's not really true.
Yeah.
Because when I cash out of a slot machine, if there's nobody there to tip, guess what? That money's going home with me. If someone's there for me to tip, then I'm going to tip them out of my winnings. So while the mentality changes, when you have a crew in front of you and you're trying to get some service, you're trying to help them out, that's money that's coming out of your pocket that wouldn't otherwise have been spent all the time. Yes, the casino sees all those tips that go in the toke box as money they could have won or that could still be in play.
Correct.
The Rio rolled out dancing waiters. Dancing cocktail waiters. And guess what? They were tipped a lot less than the smoking hot, female waitresses and the tight ass bikinis. You know what I'm saying? And they just congratulated themselves on all this money that was now being left to play. But that's not really what happened. What really happened was they didn't experience some, huge monumental movements and the cash drop. It was just new people getting less tips.
Yep.
Because you're walking, if you win $5,000 on, let's say you win $5,200 on a table, which makes, and then you have $200 extra. Guess what? If there's no one to tip, you're just walking out, you're done. What are you going to do? Just throw it at the casino? No, wait a minute. I got this $200. Let me see if I can gamble. That's not what happened. That's not the dynamic. You win, you color up, and you take off. Now, if there's dealers there, maybe you leave the 200. You know what I mean? Which, by the way, if you did that, we'd call you a cheap bastard because 200 is not a lot to leave on $5,000 win. But hey, you know what I mean?
The other thing I want to mention too is the ETGs. The biggest issue is those dealers on the game. You can't tip the dealer on that ETGs. That was the other thing I remember.
Well, they now have the tip thing.
Oh, they do?
They do. They have a little tip thing. You hit it, and then you can tip the money. What's interesting is that many of the people that have these conversations are not the real players, the players that are spending time, spending money, and they're not having conversations with the casino bosses. Yeah. And that's where the really big disconnect, because as many articles, and you could punch it in, are dealers being replaced by AI and robots? Yeah. And there's so many articles that are written by so many people. In fact, one of them was written by a consultant that I've heard of that's in the gaming space. Another one's been written by someone who runs a popular blog. And the truth is, all you have to do is pick up the phone, and you just have to call a casino manager or go into a casino and talk to the casino, and you'll get some firsthand information. Now, I had this amazingly, so I'm on LinkedIn a couple years ago, right? And the first time I realized that there was something wrong with either with us or our business, I'm not really sure. I've never been able to put my finger on it. It may be that we're always just ridiculously truthful, and we don't. And quite honestly, who wants to trust two guys who haven't always had the best credit, always had, you know what I mean? Like I get that,
Two guys who talk shit on the internet.
And we talk a lot. I mean, I get that, but just get over it, man. You know what I'm saying? Life is light, dude. We don't have to look like everybody else to make it work, right? I mean, we've already proven that it works, right? And we're here for the benefit of our family, our community, our fans, that kind of thing. The rest of it's absolute nonsense. So this guy reaches out to me. He's the head of a pretty big gaming company, right? Okay. So he reaches out on LinkedIn. He finds out about our school. He actually saw me at G2E with my dealer school thing on, right? And he was trying to do, so he has, I won't say who it is, you'll know who it is, because it's a company that focuses on table games with tech and table games. They're local. Anyway, so this guy reaches out to me and he's like, you know what, I feel you, I have the same passion, I love, we're a company focused on the dealer experience and getting tables and tech that augments the dealer experience. So we start talking on LinkedIn, and he sends me this beautiful commentary that I just loved about the real table experience and how they're focusing on the dealer thing. And I mentioned to him that for me, the dealers are the heart of the casino.
Yeah.
If you have a casino floor, if you've ever been to a slot parlor, especially if you go out of state and you see some of these places that are literally just all slot machines and ETGs, like we went to Blackhawk, there's a few casinos out there who can't find the dealers anymore. They've all been sucked over by a few casinos. It doesn't feel the same. It doesn't have the same energy, the same excitement. You go there just to play slots, have a drink, sit, relax. You don't go there to have an interactive experience, a memory.
They're
right?
frontline employees.
So, you take that heart out of the casino floor and you change the experience. You know what I'm saying? 100%, dude. So I have this whole exchange with him, and he ghosted me. The next thing you know, he went from thinking about hiring our school because, see, our thing has always been, if we're as a dealer school, right? Why wouldn't you have your stuff, if you're in the table game business, why wouldn't you have your stuff in our school so that our dealers who are learning to be table game dealers can go transition to a casino and have that skill set? Like, you got a shuffler, they know how to use the shuffler. You have an automatic. It's amazing.
Get them used to the tech so that they can actually implement it and use it right from the get-go. Remove the learning curve.
It seems like I know. So we go to these. So we stopped going. We literally stopped going to G2E. So the last one we went to, Light and Wonder Scientific Games, and well, dude. So we had one of their guys came in here, and was like, because we've been asking for automatic shufflers. Because, the button, so we teach all of our dealers how to hand shuffle, but having even just one automatic, that's it, automatic shuffler.
Like one for Pai Gow and then one for Blackjack,
or
so that
Baccarat.
They can see, just so they can practice it. So when they go to work, it's easier.
We were even open to paying for it. And so we had to go through this, some kind of vetting process for the school. Meanwhile, so the school has never had any issues.
Yeah.
We as people don't have any issues. You guys have all heard of Alex's thing. It's about ready to be a closed thing, but there's no issues. We have no issues. We're just a school, a trade school. We're licensed, state licensed trade school. Our license has always been, we pay our taxes. We do all and they ghosted us. So they even invited us this last G2E. And there's this one dude, this one guy over there that I don't know what the hell his problem. The minute he sees us, man, you can see his pants getting a bind. We got to get the hell out of there. Yep. So we didn't get exactly kicked out of G2E, but we ran over to the Keno area. And, we were trying to profile some of the machines, to talk about the machines, because, they had a really exciting and innovative Keno machine.
Yes.
Not 4-card. Go ahead. What was it?
It wasn't 1-card Keno. It wasn't 4-card Keno. 8-card Keno was the big thing IGT was showing at G2E.
8-card Keno, which, I'm in. I'll try 8 cards.
Unbelievable.
Try 12 cards, 16 cards, 17
You
cards.
have 4 and 20. I'll meet you in the middle. 8-card Keno.
8-card Keno.
That's literally the stuff that we see at G2E, because it's like claw game, 8-card Keno.
Yeah. So anyways, we got run off of that display because they didn't want us filming the machine, which is understandable. 8-card Keno, that's gonna big 8-card Keno. Anyways, so we've been trying to. I know this really sounds a little bit petty, but anyways, we've been trying to get the shuffler forever. We've given up. We don't think the shuffler's gonna be a thing, but it's fine. What are you gonna do?
This is fine.
Yeah. All right.
Do we have any super chats, sir?
We do.
Go.
The first one is a member chat, says, trust the balls or trust the hands more?
Oh,
Trust the hands.
No, trust the balls.
Really?
My balls always take me to the promised land.
Your balls and not your hand?
Trust your balls.
My balls just sitting there, dude.
It's okay.
They're just hanging out, waiting for my hand.
Trust your balls, and then for you ladies out there,
Really?
trust your ovaries.
Yeah, oh, God.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, well.
Gus gave us $4.99. Says, Alex, need a friendly wager idea for our BJ challenge next week. Loser has to do...
Oh,
one chip
what is
challenge.
the loser? Oh, really? It's a
We got
one-chip
2
challenge?
Hey, Dennis, can you hand over the 2 boxes of 1 chip?
Where is it?
Behind you.
You're going to do it right now?
No.
Oof. They have this chip. Have you ever guys tried this? I don't want to try it.
Yeah,
I
we'll
don't want to
just-
sit back
yeah.
now. I'm too old for this. My stomach's way too
So
sensitive.
if you guys don't know,
This would
I
whack
can
me.
eat spicy food, but I can't handle it.
Yeah.
But we have 2 of these. The 1 chip challenge.
Show them the warning label, dude.
The warning labels literally do not eat if you're allergic to spicy foods, allergic to peppers, nightshades, or capsaicin, or pregnant, have many medical conditions. Literally, it's basically telling you don't eat this.
Yeah, just don't eat it. Yeah.
We have 2 of these. I don't even want to, but Dennis, Nick, and I were talking about doing it. So
Only
maybe
25 calories, buddy.
Yeah, no, but it's great. It's only 5 grams of carbs for that 1 chip.
Wow, fantastic.
Great.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So here's
Wait,
go ahead.
one more.
Okay, good.
DJ and MO gave us $4.99. I work in IT. ETG shifts dollars from HR to IT on the balance sheet. How much am I on the hook for if some drunk breaks the craps table?
Oh, that's a good question, dude.
Oh yeah, that is weird.
Because IT's got to bear the burden. You know what I mean? You know, it's some guy. It's harder to break the dealer. The human
It's
dealer.
harder to break.
The human dealer needs less IT support, especially if we have the IT
Yeah.
and we can teach them how to use it before they get on the floor. What do you think, buddy?
Yeah, you know,
what I'm
dealers
saying?
have other coping mechanisms to deal with. You can
Yeah.
break their, you know.
Wow, that's genius. I love that.
Yeah.
If you are a tech, that's right. You know, it's one more cog on the floor. But anyways, all right. So here's the thing. The other caveat to this whole experience is quite literally the experience. There's a lot of people have been complaining about the quality of dealer in many cases because of lack of training and lack of, and we're gonna get to kind of the jobs and the opportunity that's available. But this is true. Obviously, with an ETG, you get a very linear kind of experience, right?
Yep.
It's really more on you, I guess, than the machine or on that tech guy, that slot tech guy maintaining that machine. We did see at Blackhawk, by the way, an issue with one of the machines where they had to shut down a bank and they had some guy there screaming. I don't know what the hell that was about, but the tech guys were like standing back waiting for security. So I'm sure, like, just like everything else, they can give rise to some problems. But so not having the right dealer takes away, and you don't have that problem if you have an ETG. However, if you have a good dealer, that's the experience.
Oh
man.
yeah.
And I will say this, you know what's interesting? A lot of us that have had bad dealer experiences creates a memory of having had that experience. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a memory too. And we think back, like in the moment, maybe it's not something we look forward to, but years later we have that experience to share, you know what I mean? And it kind of sticks out as, maybe it was a good experience, bad experience, whatever the case is.
Now, before you start, sir,
Go.
I want to mention one thing to our community, you guys watching. I do have one recommendation. The best time to play a craps ETG is if there's more than 3 of you guys and you're all trying to play squeeze play on one side. 3 or more of you guys, it's better for you to go to TI and stroke
Really?
the machine. Yeah, it was just like the party we had last night.
Yeah. Really?
Remember the party we
Last night?
Yeah.
How did
He
I
means
forget
the
last night?
He's talking about, we taught everyone how to play squeeze play, and we're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Brendan and Nick, get them on the game.
So we had a big group, by the way. Thank you so much, guys, for coming out and being part of us. We really had a lot of fun.
it was too good.
So we taught this whole group how to play squeeze play, and we taught them 110 squeeze play, where you go 110, you add the 4 and 10, and then you take it down to 96 across. Now, realistically, if you were on a ETG game, that the computer doesn't care. But when you go to a live dealer, that's a lot of work.
You have
dude.
8 people going, take me to 32 across,
like,
or 64
Nick,
across.
Help him out, will you? And
Yeah.
once we taught them, we were like, Nick and Brendan, come on, jump on this game, dude. You guys are perfect. You guys are fantastic. So that's a thing. All right.
Yep.
We lost a few people. All right. So we're gonna get to but having a good dealer is monumental. First of all, if you're new to a game or you need help or you don't understand the power presses, the machine's never gonna figure it out for you. In fact, the machine's going to give you less of that. And you don't even know what the machine is giving you or not giving you. It may be precluding bets that are instrumental or that you want to learn or that might be better for you for better yield. I mean, you really don't know what you're getting, right?
Yep.
So but on a table, you could talk to a dealer, have some support. You can tip them and get some service so that your bets are, either replicated or they're handed off to you. And more than that, playing craps, playing blackjack, for example, with other people and a dealer can be a fantastic experience. Some of my best memories are not necessarily winning, but having being part of where people were excited. We had a great dealer.
Yep.
When we were at Westgate, we had this one dealer who was a lot of fun that Dennis really loved. So it was like. There were a couple dealers, but there was this one dealer, older guy, that really, that he was getting along with, and that was his experience. That was his memory. You know what I mean? And you can't get that kind of, group and team building and team experience, especially with your family or you're out here with a group of people. You're not going to get that from an ETG, right?
Yep.
I mean, let's just say, okay. All right, we're gonna talk about the whole dealer job things. First, dealer jobs and dealer opportunities are quite literally off the charts. We can tell you this firsthand. So, we have a dealer school, obviously, and our school is slowly getting sold out. We have casinos literally, the number of casinos here in Vegas that have been contacting us for casino dealers is literally off the charts. If you are, wherever you're at, if craps is a legal game, you can walk into a casino and just ask. ask the casino manager, ask someone there, are you guys hiring and what are you looking for? You know what they'll tell you first? We're looking for crap dealers.
Always.
They're always looking for crap dealers. That's number one. And yes, we're looking for dealers. I mean, a lot of these places, have to recruit from other markets because they don't have training locally, or they try to train at the local casino. And sometimes the benefits is mixed, right? So if you're a casino in the middle of nowhere and you're trying to train them on site, it can be a tough gig, especially for dice. We know entire casinos that have had to either remove or eliminate their tables, not because they wanted to, but because of lack of dealers.
Agreed.
Like that's it. I mean, that's been like, I get it that there are some casinos who have just said, screw it, we don't want to deal with the personnel issues. But if they had their druthers, they would have dealers.
Yep.
I mean, I find it so hard to imagine, like, if you're writing a story about AI or robots versus dealers, and you think about it for a second as an actual player, if you're someone that plays, and you've been to a slot parlor and a casino with table games and dealers, the experience is completely different.
Yep.
And to say it's not is just negating all the realities of it. And yes, while there is expenses related to having dealers, it's mitigated by the facts that people play more, play more money. You don't see guys rolling out $300,000 credit lines on an ETG, dude. You know what I mean? That's just not a thing, or at least I haven't seen it. I don't even know of games that can support that kind of action. And if I had $300,000, I would get frustrated really quickly trying to, do my 22,000 inside squeeze play
within 30-second timer.
With a 30-second timer. I mean, that's gonna be tough, dude. And by the way, my host better be on it, man. He better be watching my game, getting my play up. Imagine how many points I would get, though. Holy crap, dude. That'd be great. Okay.
That's so funny.
Are you ready?
Yep.
So here in town, in Las Vegas, I'm going to share a couple stories about some of the amazing things that have been happening here in town. So Vegas, if you haven't heard, record wins every month, record wins. And table games are becoming more and more popular. Those of you who are coming to Vegas, you'll find it's like $15 games, $25 game. It's really hard to find a $10 game, let alone a $5 game here in Vegas. People have literally lost their minds. I would say lost their minds. I will say that YouTube has had a role in expanding the popularity and the nostalgia of real table games. People look to come to Vegas and have this experience. You know what I mean? Wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
I mean, we've talked about it, and we kind of curious, like how maybe social media, but social media is social, right?
Yeah.
I mean, humans want other humans, no?
I would say, what the interesting is, David? We haven't talked about this. The interesting thing is that we've gotten quite a bit of people who are slot players and that are interested in switching over to table games. We've gotten quite a bit of people that come in. They're like, I've been playing slots. I'm kind of tired of slots, and I'm more interested in craps and roulette and switching over to table games.
Because once you get over a little bit of the intimidation and the unknown, the kind of the gray that is, table games, it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
And it's a lot of fun to play with other people. It's a great, by the way, if you're single, I've been, you know what I mean? It's a great place to meet people, interact. If you ever want to just go out on, you know what I mean? And just be part of like Alex will belly up. Alex is a very social person. And he'll go out alone, belly up in the best of terms, dude.
Oh, no.
Fantastic weight loss going on right
losing
here,
a bunch
buddy.
of weight. Yeah.
But, so if you're looking for something to do one night and you just don't want to be alone, you just hit up a craps table or just sit down at a blackjack table. Next thing you know, you have a dealer, you have other players. It's a really fantastic social thing. And that's why fun night experiences have really grown, because it's a great way to create a social activity in a very passive way, right? You're not, a lot of people try to do things to force people to engage. With blackjack and craps, it's just very natural. It's like whoever it's the players against the dealer kind of thing, right? And it creates this whole camaraderie. By the way, I've had dates. There used to be casinos in town where you would go at a certain age, where you were looking for another age.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where you wanted
another Daddy David story time?
Yeah, no, 100%. This was when I was son David.
Oh, okay.
And you know what I mean? So let's say I wanted to get a little nicer meal.
Okay.
I wanted to go out and have a date and maybe have a couple courses.
Okay.
The first course being blackjack, the second course being dinner, and then maybe a third course.
Someone has a question.
Yes.
So, their name is Adam. They
Okay,
gave us
Adam.
$1.99. Said, I'm a PhD student and I want to deal. Should I drop out?
Being a PhD, I'm never going to give you that advice, dude. Continue with
PhD
your
in what?
They didn't say. They just said a PhD
is
student.
big enough, dude. That's way over our head. I will say this: 50% of our school right now, it might actually be higher, are people from out of town, and the number it's quite stunning because we have had people literally drive here from other states, and the number of these has grown considerably.
Yeah.
And they will literally. We had one guy living out of his car who came here from somewhere else, and he's now working. Another guy drove his RV. It's literally half. I would say half, maybe less than half now, because we have a lot of locals that have been upgrading their games and stuff like this. But it's always amazing because they make this big move to come out to the school, and age is not an issue. We have people that are 70, 60, 50.
Yep.
There's a lot of people who are transitioning in life. Like they've had a job, they've made their money, they've done their thing, and now they want like a little more, less stress, less issues. They want to have fun, be a casino dealer, and so there's a lot of that, by the way. So I've had this extensive. We had this guy not too long ago that called me. He's like, "Listen, I'm 60 years old. I'm just tired of what I'm doing. I want to do something new, something different. Are there people like me?" And I'm like, "Dude, come on down, man. There's so many people like you. You have no idea. Casinos love older employees, so there's none of that silly thing where they're just looking for you. They're looking for everybody, realistically." And it's a lot of fun. And they look at you. They come and see me, and they're like, "Is this true?" They drive all the way out here. And then they ask me, they're like, "David, is this true? Am I gonna get to work? Because now I left my job, I came out." And it is
He
true.
said in biomechanics.
Wow, really? Yeah, we don't want to. We
Uh,
just want to say dealing is fun, but might not go. You know what I mean? Biomechanic.
compared to that.
I mean,
Yeah.
I only wish I had the brain for it. Congratulations, sir. I mean, so it is true. Like we do what we say. Like our placement rate is almost perfect. I say almost perfect because the school is not for everybody. There are people that come and realize, you know what, maybe this isn't for me. But that's why I tell everybody, listen, come with enough money. You don't make this sort of radical thing where you're going to be homeless if you don't find a job in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
You come with a plan, and then you come to the school and you upgrade. All right, but before I get to that, I really wanted to finish this whole the dealer schools thing. So right now, there are over 300 individual job posts. So I didn't count them all, but if you look it up and you put Las Vegas casino dealing jobs and you count down with Indeed and the number of the job sites that have them, and that does not include the career sites that are available on all the different casino sites. But if you go down the list, you just look up casinos in Vegas and go to all these casinos, you'll see that many of them, if not most of them, have openings for casino dealers right now. It's literally become an existential thing because so much money is coming in on the tables.
Yep.
And again, we feel like it's being driven a lot by social media is one. You have young people today that have a nostalgia for all these classic things. I mean, it's amazing. Like like Dennis, or not Dennis specifically, but people in Dennis's age category, they know more classic rock bands than I know, and I grew up with them. You know what I'm saying? It's quite stunning. Like there's this whole playing cards, classic looking playing cards have made a comeback. Vinyl, records, and I think that people really want that experience. I mean, you come to Vegas for something more than another PS5 with a blackjack game on it, right? Because you can just do that at home or just play it on your phone. You can't play with your dealer on your phone.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Unless one of these days. I mean, I don't know, but right now that's not a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So like, that's the sell. You come here for that. You know what I mean? All right. So there's over 300 individual posted jobs. My count is about 3,000 open positions for casino dealers. And that is because a lot of casinos literally took tables out, are looking to put tables back now. But some of these pits have sort of shrunk, where they've removed tables. As you know, there's a few casinos that have closed, but now there's a few more that are opening that are bigger. We're looking forward to Fontainebleau that's opening with a full pit. We're looking at Durango Station that's opening.
Yep.
We have another couple that are down the street. All of them, by the way, are going to have casino pits and looking for dealers. So I'm going to tell you a story that just happened this very last week. So we have every single dealer at our school, and we have these sort of meetings on Tuesday and Wednesdays with the dealers. We give them updates. We talk about the whole process, stuff like this. And you know, it's our personal passion to have these very unique experience. As much we try to get to know all the casino managers, the floor staff. We try to get to know the casinos that we like to work with, and we pass on these opportunities to dealers, and we take it personally. Like when you sit down with me and you're trying to get a job, I will ask you, where do you live? And this is, by the way, Alex started this. Alex wanted it to make it easy because that makes sense. Like when you're starting to work in this field, you want it to be close, less stress, and different pits for different people.
Correct.
Some casinos are a little more strict. Some casinos are a little more flexible. You know, people have a different. So we sit down and we work this out. So we had a casino manager call me in the morning about 10:15 a.m. saying, David, do you have a craps dealer? And I'm like, I'm not sure, because most of the dealers we have at the school are kind of spoken for. We already have an idea of where we want to send them, and they're learning the games that they need for that casino. But there was the craft dealers. There's so much demand for craft dealers. They're like, you know what, David, I want to work, Mondays, swing shift. I want off every second Thursday. And we're like, well, we might be able to work this out. So I go over the crap table. We talk to one of the dealers, and he knows who he is, and he can verify this. And so I talked to him, and he's like, yeah, I would love to go work at this casino. So I tell him, I call the casino manager back, and I say, listen, I have a dice deal for a really nice guy. He's not completely through crafts, but he feel like he's ready enough to get moving. And don't you know, this casino manager calls him within 10 minutes, and within an hour was in his car auditioning him at the school.
That's how short they are.
I mean, it's quite something. Every week now, I get calls from, I would say, 10 casino manager emails. Casino manager 10. It used to be like one. Sorry about that. I almost lost my mind. It used to be one or two, and they would follow up, and they would look to do a job prep. But now it's all of them. You know what I mean?
Every day.
I mean, yeah, every day. I mean, not all of them every day, literally, but I mean, it's the demand is out there. We've been getting calls from all across the country.
Yep.
We all over the world, cruise ships, people we've never heard from and we don't know exist. We've tried to promote like Louisiana casinos and the upstate New York. The truth is, people come to Vegas, they want to start in Vegas. It's hard to convince them to, hey, come
pack
to Vegas.
Pack up your shit, go to upstate New York.
Yeah, pack up your shit. Louisiana is knocking. I mean, these are all great jobs. I played a role in opening Louisiana many years ago, so I love the food.
It's just hard when you're like somebody like me, born and raised here. I'm like going to pack up my stuff, go to Louisiana or New York,
But my biggest issue with these articles that are always looking at the dealers is that I feel like they haven't done their research. They haven't really. First of all, no one's called me. We're one of 3 dealer schools now, I think. Maybe there's a 4th one, but there's 3 dealer schools, primary dealer schools. They haven't spoken to any casino manager because they would be like, dude, we're short. We need dealers. You got any dice dealers? You know what I mean? And I don't think they understand the whole ecosystem of gambling and what are, because I mean, I don't know how many of you are out there right now or how many people will listen and talk to this, but those of us that play, that are interested in gambling, I mean, the ETG doesn't deliver the same experience. It's just a fact.
No.
So even if we use it as a tool and we use it as an alternative, like Alex, we have fun with ETGs. There's no doubt about it. But if we're going to put together a $5,000 bankroll and Alex is going to go play 550 squeeze play, 550 inside squeeze play, he's not doing it on ETG machine. There's no chance in hell.
Correct.
If we're going to live stream an experience for roulette or play at roulette, there's no way we're going to play that on ETG. By the way, roulette specifically, so what bets the ETG roulette don't allow?
Cannot do 5 double streets on roulette.
Wow.
So that's the thing, is like a lot of these, like I said, my theory is that these ETGs, they want to uphold a certain house edge. Yep. So they're stopping a lot of people from doing some of our strategies,
Yeah.
You also can't do a high or low with a dozen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
See?
Oh, really?
So you can't do like 1 through 19.
Is this on all roulette ETGs or just some of them?
I think it's just in general. That's the thing is, and also too, they're not going to tell you that in the rules. You throw your money in. That's the other problem.
I mean, we haven't had the most success, but I mean, the AI and robots are not coming for dealer jobs. They're going to come for lots of jobs, and they're going to start performing a lot of things that, I mean, we take for granted. But anything that creates an experience, I think, like, I keep hearing about how baristas, like people that serve coffee, are all going to replaced by. I mean, I don't want my, if I go up to a little vending machine to get my coffee, I'm gonna do that. But I go to Starbucks because there are people there. You know what I mean? I don't think I go there is the coffee just that addictive that I'm just gonna go there anyway?
I mean, we both have a caffeine addiction.
Yeah.
So that's
would it
true.
matter if there are people serving me coffee? Because I would think the line would move faster if it was robots.
I mean, if that's the case, though, everyone would just get their coffee at 7-Eleven.
That's true. That's right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, because humans want other humans. Like, I don't see how how robots or this AI is coming for everything. I don't think that's realistic.
And I get it too, because it's like some of the rural markets, let's say.
Yeah.
Okay, you know, I could see a ETG, whatever, but not
Yep.
in Vegas. I mean, that's a thing.
And that is something that played out. That was one of the
Yeah.
considerations. So that's a good point. So we compared it to one of the rural markets, and the truth is that in local economies or local where scale is diminished and
Correct.
people aren't looking to spend a lot of money, these ETGs played out fairly well. And,
Yep.
and in some cases they pulled more favorably than having dealers, because if you're in a local market and you have a small casino, you may not be interested in buying in for as much money.
Yep.
You're having the kind of same. But when you come to Vegas, you know, Vegas is, you know, the destination, right?
Yep.
And what's amazing is, like, over the course of my career, I've heard, especially with regards to craps. I used to listen to my craps pit manager many years ago. He would tell me, dude, craps is dying. And I would sit there at the Golden Gate, you know, dealing a bird game, and then we'd have 3 people. We'd be dead.
Yeah.
25-cent game. You know how busy a 25-cent game would be today? But here I was on a 25-cent table, and it was just dead, and we had to hire a shill. We had to hire someone to attract people. So a shill was someone, the guy would be paid $60.
Yep.
He'd have a little bit of a bankroll they would give him, and he would come up to the table, and it was his job to get other people, because people are attracted by other people. And he'd be like, yeah, this is what's happening. You know, craps games are a thing of the past. Nobody wants to learn. But nowadays, that's not true. Craps tables are packed.
By the way, they don't do shills anymore, just to let you know.
They don't need chills.
Yeah.
All the tables are busy.
Yep.
Dude, Jerry's Nuggets busy. Poker Palace is busy. They're all busy.
Yep.
People are going wherever a crap table is. They're going to find it. They're going to play.
That's
you know what I
true.
mean? And so, I mean, that's the experience. All right, what do we got? I heard a couple of dings. So I'm gonna
We do
stop
have
for
a
the dings.
ding.
Yep.
Burnt cheese. Give us $4.99.
Hi, Bert.
Burnt, not like Burt.
Burnt?
Like burned cheese. Burnt.
Like burnt toast? All right,
Yes.
good.
I'm coming to Vegas in June to win the roulette challenge.
Oh,
How
to win
early-
the roulette challenge.
How early in advance should I book it?
In June? Dude, I mean, I would just book it, you know. So our policy with regards to reservations is, as long as you can change it with enough notice. We give you a full refund, or you can change the date. Our reservations have been really going up a lot. So, I mean, you may want to book it. I'm booked out. I have dates in June that are already booked out.
Just don't do it the weekend of EDC. I'm going again this year.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can book it a couple weeks in advance.
Yeah.
There's usually room for the challenges now, so it's not the biggest deal. If you're coming with a smaller group, it's not the biggest deal. But it's definitely been a wonderful couple of weeks where you know, last January our bookings sort of dropped through the floor. So as January rolled in, and December, our bookings sort of fell. But this month they're climbing
I know, it's crazy.
quite a bit. So we have quite a few
Very excited.
100 forward reservations. So it's worked out nice. But yeah, I would say just a couple weeks before is fine. If you want to book it earlier than that, you can always. And the trick to our reservation system currently is, if you log in and you create a user, you can change the booking yourself. You can actually go in there. It's easier for you to do it than for us to do it, quite amazingly. You can actually change it. You can also cancel it and automatically get a refund. So, you know, you're not stuck as long as it's within the guidelines. I think it's 48 hour. We have a 48-hour policy on canceling. Within 48 hours, you're kind of SOL. We work with you to move the reservation if we can. And if you call us after your reservation, then you're really
Not much we can do. We
there's
schedule
not much we can
dealers
do,
that
because
day.
we have the dealers in place. We have the table there. You know,
Yep.
we're kind of waiting for you. So if you don't show up, you kind of don't show up. There's not
Yep.
much we can do. So.
So,
All right. Well, do we have does anybody like us? What are we off to? Can we give something away?
We got another super chat
Thank
from
you.
Clint.
Hi,
Gave us
Clint.
$4.99.
Thank you,
Says,
sir.
I never walked away from an ETG after a loss thinking I can come back, but I've had dealers I've enjoyed my time with, even though I
Yep.
lost.
Yeah, 100%.
Now there are some questions in here about, like, what do dealers make?
Oh, let's do it.
Typical
Go
income.
get all the questions, dude. Roll them out.
Like typical income.
Go to the beginning, dude.
for,
We'll
like,
answer everything.
No, that's not a thing.
Let's go right to the
Go to
beginning.
the beginning.
Can we give this hat away yet? No, let's give it away last. You gotta hang
So
around.
what's the typical average income for a dealer? Say a craps dealer, for example, maybe Vegas versus other casinos.
So medium income for a break-in is a little over $20 an hour. So a lot of dealers, if they're doing 3 to 4 days or 4 days a week, they come home with, I think it's like $800 every 2 weeks after taxes if they claim themselves and stuff like this. 800 to 1,000. I think 1,000 is more reasonable now. And then it scales quickly. So once you put in a little bit of time, the average hourly rate is about 25 plus. And then from there, it goes up quite a bit. So if you get into any of the strip casinos or middle strip casinos, you get to there's a lot of 50, 60K jobs. So the median income on the strip with tips is a little over $50,000 a year. The top line of that is over 100. I think here in Vegas, in general, it's in the mid 30s, mid 40s.
Wow.
The cost of living has always been less in Vegas as well. So like that doesn't sound like a lot of money in San Francisco because you couldn't afford to live outside of your car. But here you can actually have an apartment. Although rents have gone up here, we've been experiencing the same kind of inflation. Things have really changed in Vegas, but it's much more doable here. I will say that the top end casinos have been hiring pretty substantially. Like we've had a lot of people go to Cosmo, Bellagio. Everyone's hiring. We were at the Bellagio the other day, and we were on a dice game with 2 dice dealers and 2 blackjack dealers, quite literally.
Yep.
So they're especially if you learn like single zero, you learn some of the high limit type of stuff. There's a lot of opportunity to be high at the top limit. There's also floor jobs, so supervisor jobs. So supervisor roles start on the strip. They average about $300 a day. Downtown off the strip, it's like 180 to 200. Downtown is starting to become a little more competitive, thanks to Circa, Golden Nugget, those kinds of things. But for the most part, a lot of the pay there has been a little depressed because it's a little depressing. But you can make a good job. And within gaming, by the way, the casino, working as a dealer is kind of like entry mode, right? There's lots of other opportunity to expand. I always recommend if you're interested in the casino business in general, you start on the floor. You literally start as a slot host, signing people up for cards, which pays less, by the way, or you work as a dealer and you get the experience. There's a lot of respect. It's a great funnel into almost everything else. And having that frontline casino experience, you're interacting with the, supervisors, the various other departments.
Yep.
It's a great way to kind of make entry. There's a class here at UNLV, the Hospitality. That Bo Bernard that put together, fantastic kind of a whole experience, and it literally takes you through the casino environment, starting with again the casino and the table game experience, because I feel like in general it's the most impact that you can have, but there's lots of opportunity that is evolving throughout the country. There's lots of upward mobility. The great thing about being a dealer, of course, is you take off your apron. It's kind of a stress-free thing. You don't have any homework. There's nothing to do that night. You have your shifts are every hour 20 for 20 minutes. So can you imagine? You get a break every hour, which is one thing I loved. You got most casinos, they feed you. They have some great benefits. I mean, so there's all that. All right, what other questions you got?
That was like the main one, because there was a couple people. There was a couple people asking that question.
Well, when you have 4 people, dude, you only end up with 1 question.
Because there's different people asking the same question.
Oh, really? Yeah, a lot of people are asking. So it really depends. Other markets make a ton of money. I opened players in Lake Charles, Louisiana, which was fed into by Houston. And dude, they used to have to roll out. They ran out of tins. They rolled out trash bags. The money that they made, the dealers made there, was just astronomical. The first year that boat was open, it was the only boat in Lake Charles. And I know some of you that have been playing that play Lake Charles. You know exactly what I'm talking about. The lines. We would have someone calling in the car lines, how many miles out it went. And those dealers, they signed up for minimum wage and tips, and they were expecting something maybe the $100 a day, and they were making $500 a day on $500 limit tables. Well, when I went to the Belle of Baton Rouge after that, that was the biggest question when we were training dealers. Always the biggest question is how much money we're gonna make, what kind of tips, and I was like, dude, you're going to make a ton of money. I mean, the first casino in market always does well. Locals love tipping. They're other locals. They feel much more generous. And you have just money comes out of the woodworks when these places first open. So dealers tend to do really well. I mean, so there's like 26 established markets for casinos. There might be a couple more throughout the United States. and like the U.S. Virgin Islands, this kind of thing. But I do believe that there are more markets opening. You know, casinos are evolving. A lot of the stigma that comes, you know, with casino gambling has been sort of demystified. You know, yes, there are people that end up with a problem and can't manage it. But most of us, it's another night out. You know, we instead of going to expensive dinner, we go roll some dice. You know, we play out some things. And we hope that me and Alex have a small part in creating some opportunity for you guys.
One day.
And so you thank us for all the wins. The losses are on you. We have nothing to do with that.
We don't take responsibility for that.
Yeah, no. You know, no. What else you got, buddy?
Someone asked, do craps dealers make more than card dealers?
Not typically. I will say actually the true answer is most casinos they do a split, so 24-hour split. There's a couple that do 24-hour split. If you go table for table, you don't want to be a dice dealer, strangely enough, unless you're really good at eliciting tokes.
Now, I will say that there is a proposal right now going on with some of the casinos where they pay you extra hourly based on how many games you know.
Oh, that's great.
So just to let you know, I spoke to a certain daddy in our community.
Oh, really?
And that's one of the proposals. Like you get your base pay, and the more games you know, they give you like a 10
higher
or 20. Yeah, they give you a higher base pay.
Which makes sense. Having more games is critical. I always wanted a happy dealer bonus too. Like the dealers that actually go and, you know, if you're a player, you know exactly what I mean, that actually, you know, are willing to smile, engage, say hello, say thank you, all this shit. I think because those people generate all the tips.
Yep.
You know, I remember when I was at the Rio, even when we were doing well, there was always those few dealers that are always sourpuss and didn't want to work and always scared people away, complain or commiserate about players constantly, and they're always into this defensive mode. And I'd be like, dude, you're making $400 a day. What do you and you get a break every hour to complain? Like, what can you complain about at that point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always amazing. Even on crap tables, I still to this day find it so difficult, and I know, you know, there's a lot of crap dealers that give me crap about this, but you get paid to play a game, and yes, it can be hard work. If you have 8 people rolling squeeze play out from 110 to 96, that's gonna be a tough day. But you're gonna have a lot of easy days too, and the game is the game. And so instead of commiserating about it, just literally immerse yourself, dude. Get the skills, practice. You know, drop checks, make it easy for yourself by being a better dealer. Like if you're a one-handed, lazy-ass dealer, guess what? It's going to be tough dealing those hard games, and you made it tough on yourself. But I invite anybody to go out and work for, like, you know, I know a lot of you guys that, you know, you're auto mechanics and you're, you know, landscapers, and, you know, you have these physical and grueling jobs, and you enjoy them. You know, you get through the day, you make a living.
Dealing is a walk in the park compared to manual labor.
Dealing is just so easy, man.
Yep.
It's Monopoly with a paycheck, dude. Huh?
The TikTok song in the background.
Yeah. And I've always, like, I used to have this dealer I used to work with at this one casino, and he's still in the business. He's still grinding along, and you come up to him, and right away he doesn't look up. He always looks down. He's an older dealer.
Yep.
And if you throw money, so he really hates when you know, a lot of us, we just throw our money out there, right? We even and there's a lot of us like me. I know where it's gonna land. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just tossing it, and there it is, and now I'm telling you what to do with it. He will throw it back at you. He will pick it up and don't throw money at me. He'll get into this whole offensive pot. I'm like, dude, really? Like right from go, the guy's got issues, and then he pays you in the come. So he pays all the bets in the come. Place bets you're supposed to hand off. But he feels like he doesn't need to hand off. He's just ridiculously lazy. Puts all your money in the come area. And so players forget it. And guess what he does? He moves it right onto the number, or you lose it. I mean, dude, he's so brutal, and yet he's still working. And he wonders why, you know, he can't get better jobs, dude, because he sucks. You know what I mean? Like, and he has this ridiculous mentality, like, you know, people owe him something. He's there getting paid well to do a job. If you're going to be a frontline, do something else. Literally, do something else. If you hate the people, hate the job, figure out something else. Go landscape. Go build some rock walls. Go do anything else. Stop being a dealer. Stop pissing off the rest of us. You know, we hear some people give us, you know, when we do these systems, for example, you know, some people play them and they're like, hey, I went to my local casino, and they're like, oh my God, did you learn this on YouTube? So what? Did you learn how to fix? We got this camera went out. Did you learn how to fix your car on YouTube? I mean, who cares?
Not just that, but did you win? Yes.
Yeah. All right.
know.
Well, anyways, that's the rant. I guess. Yeah. Our battery went out. Doesn't last long enough for us, huh?
That's what she. Anyways.
All right. Well, guys. So how many people do we have? Do we have enough for
I think there's a
the
couple
hat?
super chats, right?
Yeah, we have a couple super chats.
Yeah. Give us a second, guys. It's coming back. Anyways, just want to say thank you guys so much. Appreciate all the support.
I don't know. Our camera's dead or dying. Can they see us? All right. We're gonna give away this hat in a second.
Just in pure pitch black.
Wow. We can see the super chat thing. But we
Yeah.
can't see the video. Isn't that weird? What is
It's
that?
just the video part.
It's just the video part.
Oh, it's the video part that's dead. So we have. Is
the
that
battery
battery
dead?
dead too?
Anyways, just want to say thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Let's figure out the topic for next week.
We don't know the topic for next week.
Yeah.
The topic for next week. Crapsy. We're gonna be back to.
Oh
Crapsy.
yeah, we'll do Cropsy.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
All right, I think we're just switching cameras, guys. Hold on one second.
All good, guys. Are we back up?
And it should be back in just a quick second.
All right, well, let's give away the hat.
We're back.
Let's be
There
done.
we go.
Fantastic.
Internet Shaquille gave us $5. Says, welcome to our new bot. I welcome our new robot dealer overlords. I can't get off without the robot lady screaming, come on, push the button at
Oh, yeah.
Internet Shaquille, by the way, he has a popular YouTube channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has over 500,000 subs on YouTube.
Oh, wow, fantastic.
Cooking channel, yeah. He's
Oh,
one of
it's
the
cooking?
homies. Yeah.
Oh, really?
He's gonna make you
Dude.
squidding pasta.
Oh, fantastic. Alex loves you. He's a loyal subscriber. Trust
Yeah.
me. That's like food porn is his favorite thing.
By the way, if you guys ever see my TikTok, it's
Yeah,
literally like he saw it. It's
It's a
literally
lot of food.
fitness chicks working out,
Yeah.
Latinas,
Yeah.
and food.
Yeah, 100%. Just
you
mine
go.
doesn't look like that. Mine's more diversified. I got a little nature,
No.
some crabs.
Anyways, Clint Vert gave us $1.99. Says, how do comps work on ETGs?
Yeah, it's all point based. I mean, no host is looking you up unless you're playing at the high end. But it's just all points. So you just got to squeeze in your players club and just pray that
They
you're gonna
count
get
it.
hooked up. Yeah, that it gets counted.
I know Venetian does, by the way, but Venetian doesn't have the interblock in ETG thing, like the one with you're actually throwing the dice.
Yeah.
But I was told that they do rate you on ETG play.
Oh, really? I actually went to an early ETG game. I had a card, and for some reason, I got 0 points for the time on the ETG, and I went and talked to the players department, and they like, yeah, it's not in our system yet. Like it hadn't been, and I'm like, you're kidding me, because I just spent $100 on this machine, and it's just a local place where you just use your points to pay for the thing, and I got 0 points. I'm like, well, is there someone I can talk to get my? They're like, well, no, it's not on our system yet, sir. We can't, you know what I mean? No one watched you play your money, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That was a thing, but I'm sure it's changed. I mean, it's all point based. I'm sure whatever the Theo is, it's much more precise.
Yeah.
When you're on a crap table, they punch it in. So there's not, when you're on a blackjack table, for example, they have AI now that will track your bets, and they will play out, a defined benefit from that, right? Or same thing with roulette. But with craps, it's a bit hard because it really depends on how you're playing and what you're playing. So there's more human elements involved.
Yeah.
I find it really difficult to imagine that. And, of course, AI is getting much smarter, but I think that craps is going to be the last game they really figure out in terms of having a authentic experience. And, I'm sure they've been trying. But even the tech on the game, you'll notice, like the player tracking stuff, you know what I mean, and how the bets in and out. I mean, there's still a lot of plays that still have a boxman. They still need surveillance. It still plays out very old school, So we'll see. I mean, we'll see how this plays out in the future.
Fingers crossed.
I really hope that casinos do not opt. I think the heart of the casino. I think it's true, and I believe me. The only thing that makes me interested in watching these casinos get the ETGs is we'll finally have a chance, me and Alex and I. Because so many people will be upset. They'll just come to us to start our own old school classic, casino.
I think the biggest problem is that they don't focus on the training. That's like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Every time we talk to operators and all these things, they never focus on the training, never the game or customer service. It's always the opposite.
No, I find it stunning that many of these casinos have given up on box people. number one, on a box person. And then they'll have these floor supervisors watching the game who really don't know craps, have never actually dealt. Me and Dennis went to a casino the other day where the floor supervisor really had no clue.
Yeah.
The dealers were going amok. Two blackjack dealers that were dealing the game really didn't know the game. I had to prompt them several times, and of course they look at me frustrated, like, "Who are you? You're not the dealer."
Yeah.
A big horn bet hit, and the floor supervisor pulled out a calculator. Literally took out a calculator from the stand, and even then she couldn't calculate. I mean, I don't know what the hell she had punched in, but it wasn't anywhere close to what they were supposed to pay.
There was a casino that I went to, which I will not name. And we had a friend, it was his birthday, and we went out, and we went and played craps, and it was the worst experience I've ever seen in my life. I don't want to say it out loud, but it was so bad that I vowed to never play craps at that casino.
Really?
That's how bad it was.
I mean, we've tried to have these conversations all the time, and it's quite amazing how these things aren't behave. You know why we advocate for certain casinos. We're never sponsored by casinos, by the way, and I think at this point we might never be sponsored by a casino, because our real thing is wherever you see us play, it's because we love the people there, the bosses there. We love the environment there. It's not because we have to play there.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, every place we go to now has nothing to do with, there's no monetary reimbursement. There's no special relationship.
Yep.
Other than the fact that we love actually playing at that casino. You know what I mean? Like, we love, so Station Casinos is really high on our list because they have the best paybacks in town. Like, why wouldn't you play there? We send them a lot of our dealers, so we know that they're well trained, and they're very focused. They have some of the best, some of the smartest bosses in this business that are really engaged with their not just their players, but also the dealers. Yeah. And trust me, they have given me not a single cent. One of my favorite casinos of all time is Boulder Station. I love the layout of the station. I love the open floor. I love the casinos. I love Red Rock for the thing. I love Palace Station for. I think they have one of the smartest bosses on the planet at Palace Station. They run a really wonderful casino pit there, and so, the same way we refer people to Ellis Island. We refer people to Ellis Island because it's an inexpensive place. If you want to play $5 craps, the food's great. Yep. Most of the dealers there, are very friendly and accommodating, and so we talk about that. And then there's casinos that quite literally for us and the experience we're looking for, they just suck. Yeah. And they just don't offer the same thing. I still don't understand, social media is now a part of everybody's life. No one cares if you're recording a flippant slot machine wheel going through, it's just so stupid to run someone off the floor because they're using the phone to record an experience, or even if they're a YouTuber, why do you care? It's such an open public thing. Do I like every YouTube channel, or I think they're doing justice to the thing? I don't think that's true either, but I find that there are
not a takeaway.
It's not a takeaway. There are certain places and mentalities that are just too old to do business with and have a relationship with.
Advantage craps players.
Advantage craps. We had a guy, not because he was rolling the dice. We had someone kicked off a table because they were regressing the system. They literally kicked him off the table for playing craps the way that craps should be played. Perfect. Can you imagine that? We had another person at a high limit casino. Oh, this is like bitch fest now.
No, yeah.
Anyways, let me read a super chat before you guys go down that path. Well, I'm just gonna complete derail that. Kilo Starboy gave us $19.99. Says Aloha brothers. Last month, Hawaii lawmakers were trying to pass a bill to legalize gambling in Hawaii.
That's what I heard.
Specifically, poker rooms and sport betting.
Nice.
House Bill 918. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's gonna start. So Texas also sports betting legal.
I think that's what's gonna start.
They have house cards there. I think that it's gonna take a long Class 3 gaming, like for roulette and craps, gonna take a while. The public's got to digest, especially in Hawaii. I know it's kind of. I wouldn't even say it's split. I think there are more people against it still from the polling that I've seen. And when I say against it, I mean like full-on Class 3. Class 3 gaming is literally where the casino takes a stake. Like you're coming and gambling against a casino, and that's where craps and roulette plays in. Now, you wonder why Blackjack or Baccarat. So Baccarat is a 50-50 game, minus the vig that you pay. And same thing with Pai Gow is a 50-50 game. They can make Blackjack 50-50 based on the rules that they roll out of the table, but craps on its own, unless you do the card craps, or you do like bingo craps, or you do like... So I really think it's going to play out very, very, very slowly. some of these markets are really slow. Texas has a new bill that's being introduced finally by a Republican Republican legislator. So originally it was rolled out by a Democratic legislature, and of course that was killed. Now it's gone to a Republican legislator. There's more people in higher places because sports is rolled out basically everywhere.
Yep.
And it's been fairly well received. And I think for the most part esports, by the way, hasn't done nearly as well as they expected esports to be a real big blowout and just yield lots of profits and everything else. It hasn't done that. But I do think it's changed a lot of what people think about it. It's taken away some of the negative stereotypes that come with it. But God, I would love for us. We're by the way, we're going to be off to Hawaii, looking around, checking out the Big Island.
Not we, David.
David, yeah, me. So we're just gonna take a little look. I haven't been. I've never been to Hawaii. Hawaiian. What do we call the ninth island? The seventh island? The ninth island? Seventh island.
Seventh island. Yeah. DJ Mo gave us $1.99. Says that's it. AI all the way up. That's literally. And then he sent another super chat after that. $4.99. Says just read the last super chat and wow, I feel obligated to give you more money.
There you go. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Because we're humans and we need to eat.
Yeah.
What else?
There was a question earlier. I kind of missed it because we were, we were talking. Someone was asking, how long does it take to go through the school and how much does it cost?
So Blackjack alone is still just $250. So so our school has been heavily. We've gone to a new pricing model. We used to be cheaper. We're not as cheap anymore. But the Blackjack course is $250. Other courses start at $275 or $295. It's better to buy a package, so you can get a couple courses for $500, up to $600 for 3.
Yep.
We always recommend craps is a really big demand, so learning craps is big. And then it just really depends. So single zero is not cheap. It's $500 for the course.
And you need experience for that one.
And you need experience. You have to be a roulette dealer. Poker will run you $850 to $950 depending upon when you register. So all in all, sadly, we offer payment plans if you pay for a big chunk. In fact, we might even put it up on the website. We may use one of these, payment installation companies so that you can split it up yourself. But for us, it has not worked out well. There was the last year we had payment plans.
Yeah,
the school lost $30,000
Yeah.
literally in uncollected money. And to be honest with you, it was so many people that didn't pay us or finished paying us.
Yep.
And the cost of hiring someone to go after everybody. So we just, we ended up having to write it off. We didn't have a whole lot of choices,
Yep.
but so we don't, and we're really inexpensive. My big apology is we had a guy today, he's got a GI Bill, wants to come down and to school, but because of the way the school is structured, we don't have the opportunity to take advantage of the GI Bill as much as we would like to. So we're very affordable, and for veterans, we give you a 10% discount. We're a veteran, owned business, minority, veteran. We do a lot of, we do respect that. We have a Path Up program. So if money is a real hardship and you demonstrate a real desire to be part of the school, we have contributions that come in from our community and from our fans and from us that we pool and we apply to some of the tuition of new students. This is the new year, so there's not a lot of that money available right now, but we have some really great contributors to that. I want to point out Snapper, for example, already sent in a contribution for this year's Path Up. And how do you get to Path Up? So Path Up, I think we have the link. It's not easy.
It's in our link tree.
Is it a link tree?
Yeah.
It's also on our website. Think about About Us. You could donate $5, $10, and we use that money, by the way, towards. So one of the expenses that new dealers have is our black and whites. They got to buy black and whites, and they have to get through the registration process. So very often, when people sign up and they don't realize the expense that goes into actually, becoming a complete dealer. You got to have black and whites for your auditions. You got to have black shoes or sneakers. And then there's a total of $100 fee to register go through gaming and get your fingerprints. About $95, so basically, or $100. So we use all that money towards that. And when I say we use all of it, There's no we apply all of it to the students. Sometimes what we do is if a big contribution comes in, we spread it out. So we lower our rates until the money's used. So we try to make it available to as many people as possible. So last year, for example, we had an event here. We had quite a few people donate, and we just cut all of our prices by quite a bit.
Yep.
And we left it there until all the money was used to apply, and it worked out brilliantly because there's a lot of people on the fence. $500, a lot of money, but $400 maybe not so big a deal. So we're able to get some people in. But that's it. We don't have any student aid. We don't have a regional accreditation because it's nonsense. Any school that tells you that you need to pay $10,000 because they're a regionally accredited school and because that matters, it doesn't matter. You just need the training. You have to be a good dealer. You have to pass an audition and not look like an idiot. And that's how you get a job as a dealer. I mean, realistically, you know what I mean? If you're literally someone who ends up at a school and you're going to pay $10,000, I promise you that it's not going to translate. It'll translate to that school, and you may think or perceive that it translates, but it's not a thing. Realistically, you're $500. You're going to get, we have some of the best teachers on the planet who have been dealing and teaching for a very long time. We do an adaptive training cycle that is pretty special with our school, and we work with everybody. We have a lot literally. There's a few casinos who we don't work with for very special reasons, and many of you have been fans. You know exactly why that is, but we work with everybody. We have some great jobs right out of school right now, and really all it takes is $500 or $250 in some cases, and that's just literally the truth, yeah.
Anything else, Mr. Dennis?
Yeah, what do you got?
We have one more super chat. We got
Go.
Ed Foster gave us $4.99.
Yes.
Well, I want you to tell us where the advantage craps player was run off. As a player, I don't want to play at any place that's that ignorant.
I know. Can you imagine, dude? We can't say, man.
We can't say.
We can't really say.
We don't want to. Yeah.
So the other, we have these relationships, and by the way, it's not really. This was about a floor supervisor being an idiot. And this is one guy. That's one of the crazy things I find about casinos is that, that's some of the training that's missed. So they casinos are like any other kind of business, and they're also big, right? So it's hard to find all the staff you need and train them a certain way. There's still a lot of this old school, mentality. So this was one floor supervisor sweating the money. Got irritated that this person could not lose. They were paying, a squeeze play version, and then they were incrementally winning, and so it's just one guy. It wasn't the whole casino, because if I sat down and talked to literally a casino manager, they'd be like, dude, what an idiot. You know what I mean? These aren't things. There's another casino, and we're not gonna name that, where there was a floor supervisor who was making the dealer charge someone based on the lay. Charge a vig based on the lay. For those of you out there who know craps, you charge on the win on the lay, not the bet itself. Yeah. And so for this poor player sat there for 8 hours getting charged on the lay and paying twice as much money on the vig, which added up to hundreds and hundreds of dollars lost. Mm-hmm. And until they came and saw me here, then they realized, like, oh my God, all night long last night, I had this big fat lay, and I'm getting charged on the bet itself and not the win. You get charged on the bet on a buy you get charged on the bet.
Yeah.
And so these things happen again because lack of training, and that's why it's great to come here to Casino Quest, and we empower you. I mean, at the very least, you get to know the etiquette. We teach you some opportunity. We teach you the games, and that you have some more answers. But all right, what else you got?
That was the last super chat.
That was it.
I think
you're almost gonna
give me a
get
call. Well, we do have 152 likes, so if you want to do the giveaway.
152, let's give it away. Should we give away a hat or a cupcake, buddy? What do we got?
We're not mailing a cupcake.
You want to? Well, I know. Imagine that. By the time it got there, okay. We have a Genius hat here, by the way. These Genius hats are not exactly flying off the shelves. Hey, well, anyways, there's a Genius hat. Let me roll my.
It, sir. Word. Let's go ahead and do dealers for the word.
Dealers? Okay,
yeah.
Let's do it. All right, here we go.
Spam it.
And you can choose between the Genius hat and the white Lux Casino Quest hat. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Someone said they wanted the cupcake.
I know. And then
I'll give you a cupcake.
we're gonna celebrate with these cupcakes after, because our celebration is quite literally that dealers are not going anywhere. Literally. All right. Okay, let's give it away. The word is dealer. Okay, so they've been firing away.
Yeah, they're firing right now. Someone just gave a super chat, so I'm going to read it right now before
Thank
I lose
you.
it.
Okay.
Chris gave us $5. Said, should I practice check drills with 11.5 or 10 gram checks? Thanks for all the great.
11.5. Always go heavy whenever you can. In fact, size matters when it comes to chips. Okay. When
Damn
it comes
it.
to Uh-oh. So I know. I will tell you, stick with 39 millimeters. So stick with those because you're only getting smaller from that. Like anything else is going to be smaller, and definitely go with 11.5 grams because that'll give you some more strength, especially controlling and managing the chip. As far as the makeup of the chip itself, I would recommend doing composite or clay. The ceramics tend to be a little lighter. They're also very smooth. And as much as they're great for stacking, and a lot of dealers like them, they're easier to manage. So like the clays are a little chalky, and then the composites obviously would be, kind of a middle ground, because you want the worst case scenario, not the best case scenario. So a lot of dealers like the little ceramic wafers are fantastic because they move around the easily and they can be stacked. But that's like the low bar, right? If you get to those, you'll look like an absolute pro. So if you're practicing though and you're trying to build up strength and manage the checks, stick with a surface that is a little bit harder and has a little more resistance. But definitely 11.5 grams, 39 millimeter, and then also I would go with composite or clay. So composites are cheaper. You don't have to buy clay if you don't want to. Just buy the composites, and stick with that. And we have those chip drills. Did I? Our next thing that's coming out. So we put up our strategies. We got to tell everybody to stop. Are they still going?
They're still going.
Oh my God. Let them know when to stop.
Stop.
Buddy. They're just pounding away at that. All right, stop.
1 through 10.
Go ahead. You pick it, buddy.
Let's
is
do
your day.
5.
Ooh. How?
Crazy Mike from Michigan. You're the winner.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, we
Crazy-
know that he's in the United States at least.
There you go. All right, so whichever hat you want, just message Dennis. Dennis will let you know, and who to message, how to get the hat. Anybody who do we have any out? Is all of our hats out now? I think we've caught up with all of our mail, right?
There might be a couple. If I haven't replied to you, that means I haven't gotten it. So if I haven't replied, feel free to email again.
Yeah, or by the way, so we have on CasinoQuest.biz, we have a little chat thing. So we have had a problem with our email filters. I'm not sure in fact, it's funny because we have some regular correspondence that's now being pushed to our spam filter. I'm not sure what happened recently, but it's like
Probably just because we're getting so many of them now.
we are getting a lot of mails now. So, but that into our chat, you can always ask in chat, say, hey, I didn't get my hat. Please, and we're happy to follow up on you. So, really apologize if for some reason you haven't gotten a hat yet, but you don't have to pay shipping. We ship them out. It's all fine. It's good like that. All right, where do we leave off? Is that it? Are we gonna say goodbye?
That seems like
I think
it's
that's it.
That's it. We're going to call it a wrap. All right. Thank you guys very much for being part of our little community here and checking out our thing about dealers. I hope you recognize that being a dealer is definitely a thing. And if you are a journalist or you're anybody doing research on this topic, feel free to call us or stop by our school, or better yet, go to your local casino and ask, that actually has tables, by the way, ask if they're hiring table game dealers and what the demand for table game dealers, okay? So do us that favor, and before you print something and scare the hell out of a lot of people looking to come here and be dealers, we'd appreciate if you do a little bit of due diligence and, have a bigger picture to play out. So anyways, thank you very much. Thank you, Alex, for guest starring today on our show. We really appreciate you. Oh, my
No
God.
problem, sir.
Okay, say bye already.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.